Most people hear the phrase peak oil and immediately picture the world running out of oil tomorrow. Gas stations shutting down, cars abandoned on the highway, full Mad Max mode. But that's not what peak oil means at all. And with all this new speculation about the US eyeing Venezuela, the country with the largest oil reserves on Earth, it's worth asking why this conversation is suddenly back. Why peak oil? Why now? And why Venezuela? So let's clear up the biggest misconception. Peak oil isn't about oil disappearing. It's about hitting the highest point of production, the moment when output reaches its maximum and then naturally begins to decline. There are really two peaks. The first is the peak in discoveries, which happened globally decades ago. We're not finding giant oil fields anymore. And the second is the peak in production, which follows the same curve but lags behind. This means after the peak, oil is still there, but every barrel gets harder, deeper, and more expensive to pull out. That's the part people don't want to hear. Now here's the part nobody talks about. Venezuela holds the #1 spot in proven oil reserves. Over 300 long-term resource base isn't nearly as big. Shale wells also decline fast. The US, sometimes 60 to 70% in the first year. So even though we're one of the top producers, that's why some analysts warn that US shale might peak sooner than people expect. Could be decades, could be years. Recently, there's been speculation, even public accusations from Venezuelan officials, that the United States might be considering military or strategic action aimed at their oil reserves. Now, whether that's realistic or not isn't the point. The point is what this speculation represents. When nations get concerned about future supply, foreign reserves suddenly start looking a lot more valuable. If domestic production peaks, pressure grows to look outward for partnerships, deals, influence, or in extreme cases, intervention. So here's the real question. What do we do after production peaks? Do we wait until decline is obvious, or do we prepare now, shifting toward alternatives, diversifying energy sources, and planning for a future where oil isn't the foundation of everything? Peak oil isn't a conspiracy, it's a curve, and pretending the curve doesn't exist won't change it. So no, peak oil doesn't mean running out, but it does mean change. A shift in energy, a shift in economics, and a shift in geopolitics. And Venezuela? Well, they're sitting on the biggest pile of oil in the world. Let me know what you think. Is peak oil real? And if so, what happens next?